Hello, everyone. Hello, Jessica Miller here. It is 5:21 on Tuesday. This is the first time I'm going live on my page. I go live. Oh, where did it go? Well, there you are. I go live quite regularly in a Facebook group that I have, but this is the first time I'm going live on my page, and so I'm very excited about it. I'm plopped down on the couch in my living room, and I want to talk to you a little bit about what I'm doing with this page. For those of you who know me or don't know me, my name is Jessica Miller, and I'm a prosecutor or a deputy district attorney here in Butte County. And one of the things that I find notably absent from social media is prosecutors talking about what they do on a daily basis. A lot of times that's because we have very specific ethical obligations to the people in regards to what we do, and we take that very seriously. But I firmly believe that we can work within those parameters to shed a little bit of light on what we do as prosecutors. And besides, who doesn't like to talk about jury trials and criminal law and the legal system as a whole, right? I know I do. And so that's what you get. That's what you're getting if you come to this page. Is I'm just talking to you about my experiences as a prosecutor, and hopefully you find that interesting. Hopefully you find it entertaining. If it's something you like, feel free to share it with others. You're going to see my dog in a minute because he's circling around, and I am sitting on the floor in our living room. So how can I go about sharing about what we do as prosecutors? I think one of the ways that would be fun for me is to use the framework of the trials that I have had over my career as a prosecutor to frame those discussions. So I think what I'll be doing for a period of time is just going through past jury trial experiences that I've had, and just talking about all of the things that I learned. Because every single trial that I've done, win, lose, or draw, has been a lesson for me. It's been something that I've taken. There's been something that I've taken from it. And so I have written my first blog post in regards to my first jury trial. It's called The One in Which I Have My First Jury Trial. And I will share the link for that in the comments. But I want to talk to you a little bit about that as well. I started my career as a lawyer in civil law. I interned at the DA's office all through law school. I did post-bar there. And when it came time to get a job, the Butte County District Attorney's Office was not hiring. And so I went and worked civil for 6 years. First in a private real estate probate litigation firm, and then I spent some time off on my own, about 3 years. And then finally, the call of criminal prosecution got to me, and I jumped ship and went over to the DA's office, and I've been there for 10 years. And it took about 8 months for me to get my first jury trial. Now, when you're a new prosecutor, you start off in misdemeanors, and that's exactly what I did. On this particular occasion, the courts were kind of fed up with the misdemeanor department because we had lots and lots and lots of jury trials, and they weren't going out. And so the court literally confirmed everything for Monday. Friday, I had 3 different defendants. I had about 6 cases that were set for jury trial that Monday, and I had to prep them all. So all weekend long, prepped all of those, and then we get to Monday morning, and they start falling. I had one defendant that didn't show up. I had some witness availability. We had a defendant that took a plea, and so we worked our way all the way down to the thinnest file at the very bottom of the stack, and it was us driving on a suspended license. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you have a right to a jury trial if you drive on a suspended license and it's charged as a misdemeanor. And that's what this defendant wanted, and that's what he got. So we did a jury trial on that. It was relatively straightforward. His license had been suspended for 20 years. He was observed by an officer driving. He parked his vehicle. He got out. He admitted to the officer that he was driving on a suspended license. And then he decided to get up on the stand and tell the jury that he had been driving on a suspended license. So to prove the case, we had certified documents from the Department of Motor Vehicles that showed his license had been suspended. We provided those to the jury, and they came back rather quickly. Although my poor little misdemeanor heart, it felt like hours. It was about 20 minutes, but it felt like forever. They came back with a guilty verdict, and the moral of the story is when a defendant tells you that he's guilty, you believe him. So that went up. One of the sweetest little traditions we have at the DA's office is when you have your first successful jury trial, they have a tie cutting ceremony. And so we have this case on the wall, and every prosecutor who's ever been at the DA's office since the beginning of time, they get their tie cut off their neck, and it gets put up with a little placard about their first jury trial. And so this driving on a suspended license is up there with my maroon scarf that I wore during my first jury trial. I've written a blog post about it. I'll share that with you. If there are specific topics that you want me to address about criminal law in general, or about being a prosecutor or anything like that, send me a comment or send me a message. I'm happy to cover them if I can. I do think that criminal law is one of the most fascinating subjects in the world. It's my favorite thing to talk about. So I'm glad you're here for the ride. Share this if you like. You don't have to if you don't want to. And I look forward to sharing with you about all of the other trials that I've done. And thank you for being here. I will talk to you all soon. Bye.